Data center double damage. Good morning, everybody. JT here, Serenity Farms prepping. So we all know, or should, that data collection centers are being built all across America by Trump's billionaire BFF evil tech scum like Larry Ellison from Oracle and others. These data collection centers are for all the data that one of Trump's other BFFs, known as Palantir, is collecting on all of us. Why do they need it all? Now remember, Palantir is Peter Thiel, who's gay, who hates humanity. His partner is Alex Karp, who's also a scumbag. But Palantir donated lots of cash to the Trump run for presidency with the understanding that Vance would be the VP pick, and he is, and Palantir selected several other Trump administration Zionists. Susie Wiles picked the rest. Netanyahu's personal campaign manager in 2020. But anyway, the data collection centers are terrible. I'm sure there's no connection to the 23 and counting 10,000 plus bed detention centers being built all across America. Each one houses 10,000 plus people. Remember when everyone was screaming in 2020 about the FEMA camps? Yeah. Who do you think these detention centers are for? Trump's supposedly deporting all the illegal he catches. He's not, but that's what we're told. So who do you think those are for, and why are they being built? Okay. But that isn't about this. That's just the incestuous connection I'm about to make. I will use New York, my state, as the example. Because New York has over 1,000 data collection centers. There's even one 15 minutes from my house. It's not a 10,000 square foot monstrosity like's being built in Dallas, Texas as we speak, but it's there. So, for those who are still unaware, data collection centers are built by very rich people. But they use ridiculous amounts of electricity. And these very rich people are not being required to pay for that electricity. Would you like to guess who is? In New York, I have NYSEG, New York State Electric and Gas, ironically named because they're owned by Spain. 40% of the electric bills for NYSEG are to pay for data collection centers and their use of electricity. That is why homeowners are seeing $200 and $300 bills at $800 and $900 a month now. The average fee for delivery, you may see the electric lines going by, which have always been there, $300 a month delivery fee for the same electric that's been flowing through these lines for 100 years. But now it costs $300. Why? Because New York, or specifically Albany, hochul, and her Democrat green weenie tards have shut down coal, shut down nuclear, shut down gas, shut down oil, and implemented billions, hundreds of billions in green new scams like virtually worthless windmills and solar farms. A large portion of every electric bill is subsidizing the solar and wind farms to make it appear on paper as if they're breaking even. Not to mention how harmful solar and wind farms are to the environment and wildlife. You know, the same things that demotards and green weenies always scream about for climate change. You want to know how much heat reflects off all them solar panels back up into the atmosphere? So, solar panels, those farms, they're being put over farmland instead of on top of buildings, parking lots, garages. They leach very toxic materials from the back of those solar panels. Those fall into the ground and poison it. Now, when solar farms are removed, the laws on the books state that they only need to go down 3 feet to clear debris. Well, the post piers that solar panels are put on run 6 or 7 feet deep. So they're digging down 3, cutting them off, and leaving them all there. The wires are buried approximately 5 foot deep. They snip those off from the solar panels and leave them. So this ground is toxic to animals grazing under solar panels, which I see. Not going to be any good whatsoever for farmland of any kind. So they know what they're doing. This has all been intentional. They don't care about the environment. There's no such thing as man-made climate change. They are intentionally destroying farmland, crops, the electrical grid, everything to control us. So, as we speak, NYSEG has put in for another rate increase of 10 to 15%. Now, they've done this 5 or 6 times in the last 2 years, from what I understand. And every time, there were no hearings, no public input, none of that stuff. The Democrats in Albany simply green-lighted the rate increases. Odds are very good because a lot of that weight increase, it's 12 noon here in town, is going in their pockets as they get kickbacks, and the rest of it's going to data centers and to pay for worthless solar and wind farms. So you need to be aware why your utilities are increasing. As I was leaving this morning, the meter maid was pulling in to read mine because I refused to get a smart meter. Starting next week, I will be doing mine online. I will be taking a picture and sending it via text to NYSEG every month. No more every 3-month guesstimations by NYSEG based on previous use. Because what do they do? The scheme with that is they jack up your rate 1 month, your usage, and then they can average from that higher jacked up rate even when you're using much, much less. It's all a freaking scam. You know, currently there are several groups that are really demanding action and inquiries and stuff into what is going on. But like the Epstein case, highly likely, we all know it's a crime, we all know they're doing it, and nobody gets arrested and nothing ever gets done. So, you got that. Now, slightly different topic. I want to thank everyone who has voted for me in the Mrhealthandfit contest. Tomorrow, the 19th, ends another round, and we'll be down to just 10. I hope to make that as well. Please vote. Share it with any friends. Just say, hey, this is a guy who has a YouTube channel who pisses us off once in a while. Cast a vote. Doesn't cost anything if you're voting one time. It is all for a good cause, the McDonough Children Cancer Research Fund. And I'm not allowed to pay money to vote. Conflict of interest. But it doesn't cost anything to vote. You may vote every 24 hours. Please do. Spread it and share as much as you can. It's just an exciting thing for me. And, you know, if it happens, it happens. It literally is going to be a popularity contest for whoever wins it because they just got more votes. But why not? I practice what I preach, and it would be pretty cool to be featured in Muscle and Fitness for a 2-page spread. Get a few dollars, get a little 2-day vacation. What the heck? Just please vote if you can. Share the video. See what happens. I'll add the link in the description. Thank you, and JT signing out.